Hello guys, welcome back to one of Track Titan's live streams. Today's another practice session for the Porsche Internal Instructor Championship. So if you haven't watched one of the other ones, my name's Max. I'm one of the Porsche instructors both in real life and in sim racing. And we have a weekly, always on a Sunday, weekly internal instructor race. Always changing tracks, quite challenging tracks, always in a 911 GT3 Cup in Assetto Corsa. And this is literally, I haven't done any laps on this track. Last time I drove Oschersleben in real life was in 2012. Sick track, really technical, really small, very unforgiving because there are no big runoff areas. So let's get into it. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. for the actual race, 2 back-to-back sprint races, including a 20-minute qualifying session. And we're just going to use this track, this session to kind of get to know the track a bit. I'm going to talk about the different sections. Also, no idea really how the car behaves around this track in Assetto Corsa. So kind of jump in with me and come along to actually see what times are realistic here and what to watch out for as you go around the track. But let's get straight into it. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. And then every time between stints, I'm going to check them and try to answer as many as possible. See. Pedals don't seem to be working. Alright. The cable came loose between the wheel and the pedals, but we should be good now. Alright, let's get into it. So Oschersleben, yeah, really small track, really twisty. Kind of mainly renowned for two things: A, DTM, and B, motorbike races actually. So you can see quite tight pit exit. Let's take it easy. I haven't driven this track in a long time. But you can see, firstly, A, it's quite narrow. And B, quite long hairpins actually. So you have these two initial hairpins. Quite long ones. You kind of want to get on the throttle, but you can't quite get on it until quite late in the corner. So you just gotta be patient around here. Triple left-hander. Really quick in cars with aero, like a Formula BMW, and kind of very tricky braking zone as you change direction. Long right-hander seems to be never-ending. Then very quick chicane, easy to lose the rear here. Watch out not to go beyond track limits, and then we kind of come on the back straight. Good overtaking spot as well if you nailed the section before. When you come into long, really quick chicane, right first. You can see understeering here a bit with cold tires, left, and then 2 right-handers, and then we're actually around. So you can see quite a short track, but a really fun one and a really tricky one to get right. Alright, let's go on the first flying lap. 150 meters, a bit late, so we're doing the moto version for the championship tomorrow. Quite unusual, but to be honest, so Oschersleben has 2 versions of the very first chicane. It used to be just this one that we did now. Then for a while in car races, they did the tighter one. But I actually switched back, I think, for this year's Carrera Cup in real life as well. So this is probably why we're doing this version with the Porsche guys. This one I would say probably the trickiest corner on the entire track. Now you can see some of those curbs, in the game at least, have sausage curbs on the inside. In a GT3 Cup you might be able to take them, but let's find out as we build up the pace. I'm not going to make that. Flying lap. Tricky exit, the final corner, kind of tightening a bit. Just gotta take a really late turn in. It's a classic sim racing to real life racing difference. In real life, obviously, you wouldn't push that much in the first few corners. Sim racing is a bit more coming from above the limit rather than below, because it actually doesn't cause you too much pain going over the grass for a bit. No, still overshooting this. Need to brake quite a bit earlier. So this is nice. The final corner has this green bit, separates it from the pit entry, and you should actually use that to widen your entry a little bit. So whenever you approach a new track, always remember there's extra space beyond the asphalt. It doesn't just need to be curbs and the asphalt. Could be something else like just a green concrete patch as well. Long right-hander. The moment you see the exit, get on the power. Waiting for the car to rotate so we can go flat out. Bit of mid-corner understeering. Quite annoying. Rolling first, wait till the front grips, back on the power, and straight into braking here. And again, patience is key, and back on the power. Staying in third, lots of curves both times, final curve, and on the power. Further back straight. One of very few flat-out passages actually around this track. So do carry as much speed as possible. Braking earlier, a bit more conservative. Back to the right. So this chicane's all about the left-hand kink actually. And a bit too much speed on the entry. Let's get a clean exit for the next flying lap. Braking at 150 for now. Already understeering. I'm pretty sure it's possible with a bit of a better line, braking deeper into the corner. Let's find a good reference point. bit too late on the brakes. Just about saved it there. Now you can see I'm shifting down to third quite a lot. Even in corners where fourth might work, but it's just to rotate the car a bit more. You see I'm suffering quite a bit of understeer. So shifting down to third, almost going into the rev limiter, helps slow down the rear of the car, and that rotates the car a bit more. First few laps in, kind of familiarizing ourselves with the track. Gonna go back into the pits and actually change from the very standard setup. So this is just the bare bones setup that a Corsa has, and you can really feel it. This doesn't have enough agility on the front specifically. Let's go back. Thanks guys for the positive feedback, by the way. I'm just reading the question. Gonna have karting related videos in the future. Absolutely, I think the focus very much is sim racing, as you know, for now, and that's what we're gonna focus on. But absolutely, if you have any karting specific questions, do feel free to send them along. Always happy to give advice. I mean, loads of our followers send us messages, and always happy to check out a quick video. If it's karting related, if it's sim racing related, if it's real racing related, in terms of on-track stuff, anything that has 4 wheels, send it along, and we'd be happy to check it out. But yeah, let's go back into the pits in Assetto just quickly and actually change the setup. So we don't have a specific setup for this track yet, but what we're going to do is we have the previous setup that we used in last weekend's race around Estoril. You can actually see it that going back to the base one, so certain key ones. So you can see we have no toe at all. Camber 4.03, 4.37. If we take the one that we kind of optimized, the instructor is all of us together. You can see way less camber on the front, and actually toe out, sorry, negative. So the wheels at the front are actually pointing outwards rather than being straight. Gives you a bit more turn-in grip, especially in low-speed corners. And so that setup in general should get us into a better position. So let's try that out and then actually start pushing for lap times now that we have a decent base setup. Definitely we can improve that. But before I want to get into setup stuff, I'd rather actually get to grips with the track a bit more, kind of find my braking points, play around with the brake bias, if anything, at first. And then we can dive into more setup specifics. Oh yeah, much better. Car turns in much more into this, especially the fast corners, you can feel it. So we did a 131. I think 128 is what the fastest guys so far did on the server. So that's plenty of room there still. Okay, this setup is way better. Hope you guys can see it as well. The car's more agile, just turns in a bit more aggressively. Also snappier as a result of that, so gotta be careful on turning, not to brake too much. Otherwise we might start oversteering. And you can see, yeah, those sausage curbs are quite nasty. So I'm gonna try to stay off them. And wide entry. Get on the power as early as possible. Always for a flying lap. Try to take the widest possible entry into the final corner. Because it doesn't matter what speed you carry through that, right? It's all about getting the best possible exit onto the start-finish straight. A bit too late, a bit too deep. Patient and on the power. Quite messy on the exit so far. Bit of a V-line. Posted a video yesterday about that. I hope you guys checked it out so far. A bit too late. So as I said, yeah, quite a technical track. And very unforgiving. The moment you make a mistake, you're basically in the gravel or in the grass. And it's so tempting to take too much curb because the track is so narrow. So by widening the track just a bit, you could gain a lot, but if you take a bit too much curb, you're just going to spin. And over to the right, key thing is the second part of this chicane, a bit of curb and all the curb on the exit. Yeah, that was good. Final corner is just a tricky tightening on the exit. And a very short curb, at least here. .150. And second braking zone deep into the corner. Slowly back on the power, and the moment you see the exit flat out. Much better. 5/10 up compared to our best lap so far. And patient, rotate, and flat out. Good example of a V-line that. Gentle on the brakes, slightly back on the power if you can. And actually watch the pedal position on the graph on the screen. Really interesting to kind of see how much is possible throttle-wise, especially in those long right and left-handers, seemingly never-ending ones. You do want to get on the power early, obviously, but if you just get on it a bit too much too early, you just understeer throughout the corner. Too late on the brakes. Such a tricky corner. I just want to get on the power, but just can't because it's just never ending. Can't get the power down. Alright, first time in the 130s. A bit too punchy on the brakes, caused the car to understeer. Patient, patient, and only on the power once you can actually go flat out. Too late on the turn-in. Anyway, time to get some new fuel. So 130s, I'd say for this session, goal is definitely to get in the 129s. It'll be a good start for the very first stint. And with some more practice tomorrow before the actual race, we should be in an okay position. Probably go a bit deeper into this corner, make it a wider V. A bit too jerky, the direction changes, and you can see it. It's kind of like the car is like a pendulum. If you just change direction too quickly, too aggressively, you end up sliding. Wide line, cut back across the track, and then all about a good exit onto the straight. Better than before. Patient, patient, and on the power. Deep into the corner, cut back across. Now you can go flat out pretty early. That was better. Gentle on the brakes. And straight line braking. Coming off. Again, wait, wait, wait. And on the power once you can go flat out. Half a second up. Pretty good. And you can see, especially as you start learning a new track, doing a clean lap, maybe at 90%. Say that as I almost go off. Doing a clean lap at 90% is way more helpful than doing a really fast one at 101 and then you start spinning. Alright, 130.0. Pretty close now to the goal. Deep. Gently on the throttle. Wait, wait, wait. And back on the power. bit too deep the V, cut across. Didn't cost us too much time, much better exit as a result at least. 3/10 up, you can see it on the dash. Lots of sausage curb, can do it. Don't think it's actually faster, so I'll try to stay away from that one next time around. Still struggling to find my braking point here. As you can see, missed the apex there. It's kind of tough somewhere between the boards. And cut across and flat out. Watch out, the curb was short. So yeah, braking point into the fast right-left chicane, I'd say, is my main vulnerable point right now. Going a bit too deep, the V. Not too bad. At least stayed on the limit throughout the corner. Good messy this whole lap. Come on. Let's do one more clean one, hopefully. He goes. Yeah, it's obviously, you can see I'm kind of now getting into a lap time territory where I really need to push. And in a practice session, obviously going off is okay, but actually come qualifying tomorrow, this should definitely be much cleaner. Over to the right for a faster exit through here. Yeah. Much better V-line and flat out. 29.5 and 4, and that wasn't even clean. Patient and flat out once you can. Good turn 1 and 2 so far. Two tenths up. Shortest line to the line. Nice. 28.7. Unexpectedly quick, actually. That was quite an aggressive lap, to be honest. Quite a few mistakes as a result of that, but not too bad. Alright, let's go back to the pits. And let's do one more session. I think still plenty of time around this lap, to be honest. I think with the setup right now, we could probably squeeze 2 tenths out of this. 10 more minutes or so, and then we'll go call it a day for today. So yeah, still braking point for the chicane of the back straight. Still, let's say the key weakness where I missed quite a lot of apexes. We're gonna take this out lap and actually slow down a bit around there just to find a reference point. That's the key thing when you go around a new track and you struggle with one corner in particular. Drive around it slowly to kind of see, is there a reference point that you can use to guide your braking a bit better. And usually by reference point we think about braking boards, but there's so much more around the track which you could use. Bridges, different types of asphalt suddenly starting, curbs and so on. So it's usually something you can use that might be better than the boards. Alright, let's see as we go down the straight. So looking for a braking point before the bridge, 100%. So we have this white line, which might be a bit too early, 100-meter sign. And I would say between 150. Tricky to really find anything good as a reference point. But we can see actually on the right-hand side, you can see that TV camera post, and I would say as we kind of lose sight of that, that's roughly when we should come to a braking point. So let's try that for the next lap. It doesn't mean exactly then, but at least you have a somewhat decent reference point. Keep an eye on the peripheral vision for that camera post. not bad. Just didn't break enough, but I think position-wise it should be pretty good. Too late on the brakes. All good. A bit too early on the power, shame. Good lap so far. Still decent in terms of the time delta, only 2 tenths down. Bit messy around the final corner, which should never happen to you, right? Because you actually mess up the start of the new lap, and you can see the delta is starting to move. A bit too heavy on the brakes on the direction change. Good exit. Start and L this coming lap. Smoother on the brakes, pushing the track limits, and then back on the power. .129.2, it's decent, a bit more consistent than previously. Patient, patient, and on the power. Such a shame. It was exactly on the limit and then just a bit too greedy on the exit. Try one more clean one. Still 129, once again, 2 in a row. Solid. Last sector slightly messed up. Go on, let's try one more lap. Nah, not meant to be. I'd say that's it for me, guys, today. Solid first practice session, though, considering it was the very first one. But, yeah, 128, what did we get? 128.7, which is up there with the top guys, I think, so far. In the 128s, at least, which I'm pretty happy with. So tomorrow at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Central European time, 20-minute qualifying, then 2 sprint races back-to-back. And the second sprint race is actually a reverse grid. So it should be pretty exciting with the other Porsche guys. Tune in if you can. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to us, either in the comments here, on Instagram, via email, whatever channel works best for you. And looking forward to seeing you guys as soon as possible.